Ladies and gentlemen, what if I told you that the brotherhood we all thought was unbreakable, the empire built on loyalty, trenches, and day one love, just collapsed from the inside? Yeah, I'm talking about Lil Durk and THF Bayzoo. The duo that once moved like blood, now moving like enemies in silence. And trust me, the streets are whispering, the fans are gasping, and the truth? It's uglier than anyone expected. Because when Lil Durk said, he switched up on me for clout, that wasn't a throwaway line. That was a loaded shot, a confession, a coded message that something deep, personal, and maybe even dangerous has gone down behind the scenes of OTF. The internet only caught the surface. A few tweets, some deleted photos, and a couple of cold stares at shows, but insiders? They're saying this betrayal cuts all the way to the soul. So how does love between brothers turn into war? How does loyalty become leverage? And how did Bayzoo, the man who once stood shoulder to shoulder with Durk, become the name whispered in betrayal? Tonight, we're peeling back every layer, every leak, and every lie, because this isn't just rap beef anymore. This is a civil war inside OTF. Ladies and gentlemen, the streets never lie, but they sure love to twist the truth. And tonight, the story we're about to unfold isn't just about rap. It's about loyalty, envy, and a betrayal that could tear down one of the most feared alliances in Chicago's history. See, when you talk about Lil Durk and THF Bayzoo, you're talking about brothers, not by blood, but by the kind of bond that's been baptized in loss, loyalty, and survival. These two came up from the same blocks, the same scars, the same grind. But somewhere between fame, money, and the flashing lights, that bond started to rot from the inside. Now, don't get it twisted. This didn't happen overnight. This is years of silent tension, ignored calls, and whispered warnings finally boiling over. The kind of story that doesn't start on Instagram, it starts in real life. Picture this. Two men who once shared a dream now share distrust. And it all started, allegedly, with one thing, clout. Because when fame starts calling your name, loyalty starts fading. And that's exactly what sources close to the camp are saying went down between Durk and Bayzoo. Apparently, it started small. Durk noticed certain people around him switching their tone, acting distant, showing love in public but moving funny in private. The kind of fake energy that every successful artist eventually faces. But this time it hit home. Bayzoo wasn't just some associate, this was family. The guy who held it down when Durk faced cases. The man who stood in the trenches when others folded. But as the money grew, so did the rumors. There were talks of hidden deals, quiet alliances, and a few too many people whispering Bayzoo's name in the same sentence as betrayal. One insider told us, Durk started feeling like someone was leaking moves. Every time he planned something, somehow the streets already knew. And in Durk's world, that kind of leak is deadly. Loyalty isn't just a word, it's currency. And when that currency starts losing value, trust collapses. That's when, according to multiple anonymous sources, Durk started pulling back. No more random FaceTimes, no more late-night check-ins, no more casual pull-ups. It was distance, strategic, silent, and surgical. The kind of move only a man betrayed would make. But here's where things get darker. While Durk was tightening his circle, Bayzoo allegedly started building his own. New faces, new energy, new people whispering in his ear. People saying things like, "You don't need to be in anyone's shadow anymore," or "You built this just as much as he did." And when ego meets opportunity, loyalty usually loses. Not long after, fans started noticing strange things. Bayzoo missing from key OTF moments, no tagbacks on social posts, and subtle subliminals that most people ignored at first. But the streets noticed. And when the streets start talking, the internet follows. Clips began surfacing. A video here, a backstage moment there, Bayzoo with people Durk wasn't vibing with anymore. The optics were loud, even if the words weren't. And when Lil Durk dropped that now infamous line during his freestyle, they switched sides when the views come up. Fans lost their minds. Everyone knew who that was aimed at. He didn't say Bayzoo's name, but he didn't have to. The internet did it for him. Suddenly, hashtags were trending. Durk versus Bayzoo memes were everywhere. Reaction channels ran with it. Even industry folks started chiming in, calling it the end of OTF's brotherhood. Some said Bayzoo had been plotting his own rise, waiting for the perfect time to separate from Durk's shadow. Others swore this was a misunderstanding blown up by blogs hungry for clicks. But one thing was clear, Durk wasn't talking to him anymore. And when Durk goes silent, it means the damage is done. One source, close to OTF's inner circle, described the shift like this: "It was all love at first. But when people start chasing their own bags and egos get big, love turns to competition. And competition turns to hate." Durk, being the chess player he is, didn't move recklessly. He started cleaning house. Certain people got cut off. Certain names stopped appearing on tour lists. And as the silence grew, the energy around Bayzoo changed. Fans noticed he started posting cryptic captions. Stuff like "can't trust nobody no more," and "the ones closest to you do you the worst." Lines that felt like open wounds. But the real breaking point? A leaked studio clip that set the internet ablaze. Late one night, someone from Bayzoo's circle allegedly recorded a private rant, Bayzoo talking about feeling unappreciated, calling out fake love, and claiming he carried more than people know. Within hours, the audio spread like wildfire, and when Durk heard it, sources say he didn't respond publicly, but his actions spoke loud. A week later, all mutual posts vanished. Every tag, every joint photo gone. Bayzoo's name? Erased from the OTF roster like it never existed. The fans were split, half calling Durk cold-hearted, the other half saying, "You can't blame him. Loyalty ain't loyalty no more." But everyone agreed on one thing: something massive had gone down behind closed doors. And that's where the story gets even more twisted, because right when people thought it was just a friendship fallout, whispers started leaking of something deeper. Allegations of money moves, unreleased collabs being shelved, and private business deals that might have gone south. One insider claimed Bayzoo had been meeting with rival promoters behind Durk's back, using OTF's name to cut side deals. Another said Bayzoo felt he deserved a bigger percentage from past tours, arguing that he helped build the foundation but never got the credit. It wasn't just about feelings anymore, it was about money, power, control. And once that kind of tension hits, there's no going back. Durk reportedly confronted Bayzoo during a closed-door meeting. No cameras, no entourage, just real talk. According to someone who was allegedly nearby, the argument got heated. Voices raised, chairs moved, phones turned off. One of them stormed out, and that was it. They never spoke again. After that, Durk went ghost. He poured everything into his music, subtly airing out pain without saying names. Lines like "they love you till you pass them up," and "day ones turning day twos." Fans started decoding every lyric, connecting dots that might not even exist, but the energy said enough. Meanwhile, Bayzoo doubled down. He started hinting at solo moves, posting clips from his own sessions, captioning them with words like "new era" and "my story starts now." He never mentioned Durk directly, but he didn't have to. The silence between them had become the loudest part of the story. And yet, for all the noise online, for all the speculation and shade, there's still one unanswered question. What really happened between Lil Durk and Bayzoo? Because depending on who you ask, you'll get a different story. Some say betrayal. Some say ego. Others say it's all a stunt, a marketing play to fuel upcoming drops. But one thing's for sure, the love that once held OTF together has now become the wound tearing it apart. And this, my friends, is only the beginning. ChatGPT said, "Ladies and gentlemen, if you thought part 1 was wild, hold on, because this is where things get messy. The whispers have turned into shouts, the silence into statements, and the bond that once built an empire, it's officially in ruins. What started as quiet tension has now exploded into a full-blown scandal, with both Lil Durk and Bayzoo caught in a storm that neither seems able to control. And as always, the streets know before the blogs do." According to one insider, someone who's been around OTF since before the fame, Durk didn't just cut Bayzoo off because of hurt feelings. Nah, there was a pattern. Money missing. Studio sessions leaked. Conversations that somehow reached the wrong ears. That's when Durk's paranoia reportedly hit the ceiling. He started asking questions like, who's feeding info to the ops? And why my business showing up in group chats that I ain't even in? And allegedly, one name kept circling back, Bayzoo. Now, of course, Bayzoo's side tells a different story. They claim Durk was getting Hollywood, switching up on his people, and forgetting who helped him when nobody else cared. One close friend of Bayzoo's told us, Zoo felt like he was being treated like a sidekick. Durk would shine, and Zoo would be in the background. He started getting tired of it. But here's the catch. Behind-the-scenes footage from a private OTF rehearsal leaked last month, showing Durk ignoring Bayzoo's presence, refusing to even make eye contact. Fans zoomed in, slowed it down, broke down body language like detectives. One TikTok went viral saying, "You can literally feel the tension through the screen." And they weren't wrong. Then came the secret group chat scandal. Supposedly, screenshots began floating around showing Bayzoo allegedly bad-mouthing Durk to mutual friends, saying things like, "He's not the same Durk anymore, and he let fame change him." The authenticity of those screenshots is still questionable, but in the world of social media, perception is reality. Within hours, the screenshots had thousands of retweets, and fans started taking sides like it was a custody battle. The hashtags told the story, hashtag Team Durk versus hashtag Team Bayzoo. But while fans argued online, the real drama was happening offline. Durk's camp reportedly started cutting off Bayzoo's access, canceling appearances, removing his name from credits, and even freezing his ODF connections. Sources close to the situation claim Bayzoo's reaction was pure rage. He felt betrayed, isolated, and humiliated in front of the same world he helped build. That's when things turned dark. Late one night, an anonymous Twitter account, claiming to be a former OTF insider, dropped a massive thread exposing what they called the real reason Durk fell out with Bayzoo. The thread included alleged DMs, fake business invoices, and voice notes suggesting that Bayzoo had been moving funny with funds from a joint show they did last summer. Whether it's real or fake, it didn't matter. The internet believed it. The thread got millions of views. Fans started saying things like, Bayzoo was eating off Durk and didn't want to share, while others flipped it. Durk using Bayzoo's name for clout and threw him under the bus. It became a circus. And in the middle of it all, both men stayed silent. Not a single live, not a single tweet, just subliminals and music. That's when Durk dropped that now iconic Instagram story. A plain black background with the words, "Everybody ain't real. Some just good at acting." No tags, no emojis, no explanation. But fans knew exactly who he meant. Minutes later, Bayzoo posted his own story. Never bite the hand that never fed you. It was war. Every blog, every gossip page, every reaction YouTuber jumped in. The Shade Room posted side-by-side screenshots. DJ Academics went live and said, "If this is true, it's over for OTF's brotherhood. This is deeper than rap." And honestly, he wasn't lying. Because around the same time, leaked text messages surfaced claiming that some mutual OTF affiliates were forced to pick a side. One source alleged that Durk quietly told people, "If you rock with him, don't rock with me." That line spread like wildfire. Overnight, entire relationships within the camp fractured. People who once shared the same stage were now blocking each other. But here's where things got truly unbelievable, because Bayzoo didn't stay quiet forever. Weeks after the fallout, he dropped a freestyle on YouTube that shocked everyone. In it, he rapped lines like, "You left the hood, I'm still in it. You changed the script, I'm still real with it." Fans went insane. Some called it the most emotional verse he's ever done. Others said it was a direct diss to Durk. Durk didn't respond, but he didn't have to. Just days later, he performed live in Atlanta, and during one of his songs, he paused halfway, looked straight at the crowd, and said, "Watch who you call brother." The audience went silent. Cameras came out. That moment went viral in seconds. The blog spun it as a direct response to Bayzoo's freestyle, reigniting the fire. Twitter was in flames again, people dissecting lyrics, matching outfits, analyzing timelines. Everyone wanted to know, how did a friendship this real turn into a feud this toxic? But according to one alleged insider, it wasn't just music beef. They claimed something happened that night in Atlanta behind closed doors. A heated argument involving money, loyalty, and maybe, just maybe, a woman. No one has confirmed it, but that rumor alone was enough to send the internet into chaos. Because betrayal for money, that's one thing. Betrayal over a woman, that's another level. Bayzoo's team immediately denied it, saying, "People love to make stories when they don't know the truth." But Durk's camp stayed dead silent. And silence, in this business, speaks louder than any statement. By now, even casual fans could feel it. This wasn't just tension. It was heartbreak. Two men, who once shared the same vision, now looking at each other like strangers. Every move analyzed, every lyric interpreted, every post dissected. The OTF family that once felt untouchable now looks fractured, bruised, and bleeding from within. And what's worse, the streets are saying this is just the beginning. Because apparently, there's a lot more that hasn't come out yet. Private messages, business receipts, and a few major players who might have been fanning the flames all along. And if those leaks ever see daylight, this whole situation could explode on a level no one's ready for. But before that happens, there's one more layer to this story. Because as much as Durk and Bayzoo are trying to move forward the truth, it refuses to stay buried. And that truth is about to come out. Ladies and gentlemen, by now the tension isn't just thick, it's suffocating. The silence between Lil Durk and THF Bayzoo has become the loudest sound in the rap game. The streets are divided, the fans are obsessed, and the blogs? They're eating the story like it's their last meal. But what if I told you we've only scratched the surface? What if the betrayal that broke OTF wasn't just personal, it was strategic? Because the deeper you dig into this story, the more it looks less like an emotional fallout and more like a full-blown takeover. Let's rewind to just a few weeks ago. Word started spreading that Bayzoo was planning his own independent label, something separate from OTF, something built in his own image. Not a rumor this time, a registered brand, logo, the works. And if that's true, then this whole betrayal story might not just be about friendship gone sour, it might be about control. Sources close to the situation claimed Durk found out about the move before Bayzoo announced it publicly, and that was the final straw. Imagine finding out your brother, the same man you broke bread with, is building an empire that mirrors yours behind your back. That's not just betrayal, that's rebellion. And in Durk's world, rebellion doesn't go unchecked. After that revelation, things reportedly spiraled fast. Business meetings were canceled, joint ventures were dissolved. A handful of artists under the OTF umbrella quietly unfollowed Bayzoo overnight. Fans caught it instantly and started screenshotting the proof. It wasn't a quiet breakup anymore. It was a digital divorce in front of millions. Then came the leaked phone call. An audio clip, barely 40 seconds long, hit social media late at night. You could hear two voices, allegedly Durk and one of his closest affiliates, talking about cutting off the dead weight. The voice that sounded like Durk said, "Ain't no love left. If he wanted to move funny, let him. I'm good on that." The clip spread like wildfire, and though no one could confirm its authenticity, the damage was done. Within 24 hours, Bayzoo responded, not directly, but symbolically. He posted a photo sitting on top of a black SUV, money spread across his lap, captioned simply, "They can't stop what's already in motion." The comment section was chaos. Half the fans were cheering him on for standing his ground. The other half calling him ungrateful and fake. The war lines were officially drawn, and both camps went quiet once again. But behind the silence, the tension was boiling into something darker. Industry insiders began reporting that major promoters were backing out of OTF-affiliated shows, afraid of unnecessary heat. Labels allegedly started putting pressure on both sides to de-escalate the narrative. Think about that. The situation got so messy that corporate money had to step in and play peacemaker. And yet, neither side blinked. Durk went on a cryptic social spree, liking tweets that said things like, "You can't be loyal to snakes, and sometimes family ain't family." Meanwhile, Bayzoo uploaded a series of clips from old interviews where Durk called him a real one. Fans saw it as a reminder, like he was saying, "You know who I am. Don't rewrite the story." It was chess, not checkers. But what really flipped the narrative upside down was what happened next. A massive leak that no one saw coming. A random YouTube channel, no name, no face, just a dark logo, uploaded a 10-minute expose claiming to have screenshots, audio clips, and documents proving that Bayzoo had been working with rival management behind Durk's back. The video spread fast, over 500,000 views in a few hours. The receipts looked too good to be fake. Detailed text exchanges, emails, even what looked like wire transfers. Fans went ballistic. The video title, "The Real Bayzoo Story, OTF's Hidden Traitor." By morning, it was everywhere. But here's where things got weird. The video vanished. Completely deleted. No explanation. No re-uploads. It disappeared faster than it appeared. Some say it was a takedown. Others claim it was a setup from the start to test the public reaction. Either way, it left fans suspicious and desperate for answers. And that's when the Bayzoo redemption rumor started floating around. Word on the street was that mutual friends were trying to broker peace. Some insiders hinted that Durk and Bayzoo had a private sit-down to clear the air. But if that meeting ever happened, it didn't fix anything. Because soon after, Bayzoo dropped a line in his new freestyle that made jaws drop. They said blood thicker than water, but mine turned cold. The internet went nuclear. Everyone took that as confirmation. There was no going back. What's wild is that this feud has now turned into something bigger than both of them. Other Chicago rappers have started picking sides. Subtly, quietly, but clearly. People Durk used to post with suddenly appearing in Bayzoo stories. Affiliates from Bayzoo's circle reposting old Durk clips with shady captions like, "It was never love." The fans aren't blind. They're watching it unfold like a soap opera. And as the story spreads, even bigger questions are being asked. Some say the industry itself is using this feud as fuel. That Durk and Bayzoo's fallout is being played like a PR card, a way to keep attention high, streams climbing, and names trending. Others swear it's deeper, that real bloodlines have been crossed, and reconciliation is impossible. Whatever the truth, the fallout is undeniable. Durk has tightened his circle to the smallest it's ever been. He's focusing solely on his next project, rumored to be filled with subliminal shots and veiled confessions. Meanwhile, Bayzoo is reportedly setting up his own label rollout, hinting at signing artists who value loyalty over fame. In other words, the brotherhood that once ruled the trenches is now split into two kingdoms, each one claiming to be the real successor. And for those who still believe it's just music beef, ask yourself this: why did every major insider suddenly go silent? Why did the leaks vanish? Why did certain names suddenly disappear from features and credits? Because something bigger is happening. Something nobody wants to talk about on record. Maybe it's money, maybe it's power, or maybe it's the one thing that always ends great empires: betrayal from within. And as we speak, both men are still moving, still plotting, still posting. But if you look closely, the energy's changed. That brotherly bond, that trust that built an empire, it's gone. What's left now is pride. And pride, my friends, is how every kingdom falls. So as we close this chapter, at least for now, remember this: in the world of fame and street loyalty, love is temporary, but envy, that lasts forever. And if this story has taught us anything, it's that even the tightest brothers can crumble when the lights get too bright. Because when loyalty fades and power takes the wheel, there are no heroes left, just survivors. And in this war between Lil Durk and THF Bayzoo, only one will walk away with his legacy intact. So, what do you think really went down between Lil Durk and THF Bayzoo? Was this just another industry fallout? Something planned, staged, and exaggerated for clout? Or did Bayzoo truly stab Durk in the back, breaking the brotherhood that built OTF from the ground up? Because from where we're standing, it looks like the love's long gone, and all that's left is tension, power, and silence. The streets have already picked their sides, but I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Who's telling the truth, and who's just playing the victim? Do you think they'll ever reconcile? Or has this turned into another chapter of Chicago's never-ending cycle of betrayal and payback? And listen, if you thought the story was wild, you haven't seen anything yet. The next expose we've got lined up, it'll make this Durk-Bayzoo mess look like a friendly misunderstanding. We're talking bigger names, deeper secrets, and betrayals that'll make your jaw hit the floor. So make sure you hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on your notifications, because around here, we don't miss when the truth starts leaking. We chase it. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your loyalty tested, and your receipts ready, because in this game, nobody's safe, not even family.